All right, hello and welcome to the Fasting for Longevity webinar. I'm very excited to be delivering this particular webinar to you. Fasting is something that I value very highly when I'm working with people on their health. I've actually talked to my clients a lot about if I could only work with you on one thing, it would be fasting. And that's because of the vast amount of benefits that you get from fasting and from engaging in a fasting lifestyle. So it is absolutely incredible, a very underutilized tool in the healthcare and improving one's health arena, you could say. Specifically, this webinar is going to go over how to improve one's immediate health in order to create a longer health span using fasting. So let's get right into it. All right, so a little bit about me. I am a ketogenic fasting health and life coach, and I am specifically going to go over my expertise on fasting in this webinar and how to use it to create a lifestyle that you enjoy and that accommodates whatever it is you need in order to improve your health, your motivation, your attitude towards life, your energy, etc., etc. Fasting, you'll probably be surprised to know that it can affect many things in one's life well beyond simply improving one's health, handling autoimmune situations, proofing one against future illness. If that weren't amazing enough, it can also create motivation, improved mood, better attitude towards life, better relationship with the food you're eating and how you're experiencing life. So let's get into this. So the question is, how can fasting improve health and longevity and everything else I just mentioned for that matter? So some of the benefits we're going to cover in this specific webinar, we won't necessarily get into everything that I mentioned at the beginning there, but these are the benefits of fasting that we're going to zero in on and look at how they can help you increase your immediate level of enjoyment in life regarding your health and what you're able to do, how you're able to function, as well as increasing your longevity and health span. So first one, improved hormonal function, and the second one goes right along with it, increase the anti-aging hormone. That is the human growth hormone. So improved hormonal function is basically how your hormones operate in running your body. It is the hormones that direct the majority of the functions that occur within our bodies. So when they are out of balance or when you're resistant to certain hormones, and you can be resistant to many different hormones or not able to work with them correctly, or the combination, the harmonious relationship that is supposed to occur when one hormone goes up, another's supposed to go down, etc., how they interact. This can be dysfunctional, and that can be greatly improved, if not completely handled, by fasting. Now, the anti-aging hormone, it's been called that because it actually can reverse certain aging processes. And when you don't activate it, when it's not a part of what your body is using to run itself, you can get into situations where you are prematurely aging, getting into disease processes you just don't need to be in at all. The secret anti-aging detox and repair process. So this is a very simple activity that your body automatically goes into when you start fasting. It is absolutely amazing. And I say secret humorously because it really shouldn't be secret. It's all over the natural health world. It's been scientifically proven many times over. And it should be a part of everybody's life at this point, to be honest. But that it's not is unfortunate. And hopefully this will help you learn about it and learn how to use it. So also increase stem cell regeneration in your body. Of course, we know about stem cell therapy. You can actually do your own, do it at home, stem cell therapy practically using fasting and learning how to engage in fasting in a way that creates stem cell regeneration. And of course, improve cognitive function and memory. Yes, you can improve your memory simply by not eating. It is pretty incredible. All the functions that we just went over all lead to improved cognitive function and memory. And there are specific things that occur in our nervous system and our brain that help with cognitive function and memory. So here we go. First thing, hormonal function, balance, and sensitivity. So ketogenic fasting, and I say ketogenic fasting very specifically because if you are not in a state of ketosis during fasting, you're not necessarily going to be getting many of these benefits. And eventually your body has to get into ketosis to be able to fast for any duration. So ketogenic is a specific metabolic state where you are burning fat for fuel. And this is a state that you move into as you begin teaching yourself how to fast and training your body to fast for longer periods. So ketogenic fasting increases, balances, and improves sensitivity to key hormones that practically regulate the aging process. Now get that. We're going to control the aging process through fasting. Isn't that amazing? So if you want to age more slowly, or you want to reverse some of the age-related issues you may be experiencing, fasting will do that for you. You have to know how to do it. You have to understand the mechanisms and use them correctly, but it is amazing and it can work for you. So by using fasting, you can increase the anti-aging human growth hormone we just mentioned and reverse aging processes your body may be experiencing. So first thing up, human growth hormone. So human growth hormone stimulates growth, of course, cell reproduction, and cell regeneration in humans. So for most of us past our 20s, we're no longer working necessarily on growth in terms of body size, but we are still working on growth in terms of our musculature, our different organs that need to grow as or change as we age. And this requires cell reproduction, cell regeneration. And without that occurring, you will not get the necessary repair that you need in order to function the way you want to in life, have the energy you want, the strength you want, the endurance you want, etc., etc., etc. The focus, the mental preparedness and ability to engage in life, that is all part of the benefits you get from fasting. So when your body is in this ketogenic fasting state, and you add exercise, you can actually increase human growth hormone by up to 1,300%. So anybody fasting for an extended period of time can get up to 500% increase in human growth hormone. It just happens. It's like turning on a light. It's what happens when you flip that switch by fasting for an extended period. Doesn't have to be forever. You start getting into human growth hormone increases pretty much right off the bat when you start fasting. But it can go up to 1,300% if you add exercise in the right way. So another hormone that is greatly affected by fasting and then affects almost every other hormone in your body. There's an echelon of hormones, a hormonal hierarchy, you could say. And, oxytocin and cortisol are right up there at the top, but right below them, close to them, is insulin. And insulin then affects a lot of other hormones and hormone interactions and functions, as well as our ability to uptake nutrients in the body. So fasting lowers insulin levels, which is where we want it, and improves the body's sensitivity to insulin, making it more effective. So this means you can produce a little insulin, and it has a great effect on the body. It really produces the changes we want. And the change we want from insulin is the ability to produce and create energy from glucose and energy sources, and the ability to uptake nutrients, to uptake vital proteins and amino acids and vitamins and minerals into our cells in order to create the body that we want, in order to create the energy, the stamina, the strength. It all hinges on the functionality of hormones, and one of the most important hormones is insulin. So fasting is one of the most effective ways to make you more insulin responsive, better able to utilize insulin. So it's also important because high insulin levels are toxic to the body. Your body knows that it needs low insulin levels. And when it goes high, it's actually a toxic state. And it does everything it can to lower insulin, but it can get worn out. So the majority of the aging disease processes that people say are just part of aging are actually chronic high insulin. They're not because you're adding years to your lifespan. They're because you're adding stress in the form of high toxic insulin levels in your body, So if you do fasting correctly, you completely eliminate. When I make it a little better, or, I feel a little better, or this is somewhat, no, eliminate insulin resistance and put you in a metabolic state where you can really take advantage of the energy you're supposed to have and the endurance, strength, and vitality that should be a part of your life. So I'd like to go into insulin a little more because it is so important in that it affects so many things. So insulin is a hormone, as we said. It's made by your pancreas. Most of us know this. Um, Insulin controls the amount of sugar in the blood. So it tries to take out sugar when there's an overload of sugar. But what can happen and what people don't realize is as we become insulin resistant, we get tired, we have less ability to use the sugar that we eat and the carbohydrates and other forms of energy, but also we can become nutrient deficient because insulin resistance means that your body will now resist nutrients that you're giving it. So you could be eating the most amazing diet, taking all the supplements you're supposed to, but if you haven't fixed your insulin resistance, it will just go right through your body and you will not absorb it. And it could actually have a toxic effect in some cases. So it is super important to handle this insulin factor. What is insulin resistance? So insulin resistance is when your muscles, fat, and liver cells don't respond well to insulin and can't easily take up glucose, and it should say here, and nutrients from your blood. As a result, your pancreas just makes more and more insulin, trying to get the glucose and nutrients into your cells so that you can actually operate. It just keeps making all this insulin, but your body is rejecting the insulin. It's become insulin resistant. So it doesn't matter how much your pancreas produces this, you can't actually benefit from it. And that is key to know because you could be doing everything right, and if you haven't tackled and confronted how to handle this insulin situation, everything else is not going to work for you. So how does insulin resistance cause these health issues? So it's the excess of insulin in the body that the cells start to resist. And as they resist the insulin, they resist what the insulin's trying to do, which is kind of like opening each cell. Like you take a key and open a door. Insulin kind of opens the door to allow nutrients in, to allow proteins that build up your body, and to, of course, allow energy factors like sugar and carbohydrates broken down, etc., into your cells to create energy. So this insulin resistance, because you're not getting the nutrients you need to function correctly, to build up the body, etc., can lead to degenerative diseases. You simply are not getting what you need to build your body. Okay, so that was hormones, anti-aging hormone, and insulin. So now we're getting into the secret anti-aging process I mentioned earlier. And this is simply a process your body naturally engages in when you start fasting. It just happens. You don't even have to do anything. Just stop eating. You will start reversing the aging process by eating less frequently. It's not like you have to stop eating, but eating less frequently. And that process is called autophagy. Autophagy is basically the process the body goes into when you start fasting, in which it actually cleans up damaged cells, specifically the proteins that are damaged in your cells that make up and build our cellular structures. These become damaged, they get exposed to different toxic, I won't get into the technicalities of that, but different toxins. You can think of like heavy metals are toxic, right? Things that are charged incorrectly for your body to be able to work with. Things that cause an overload of bacteria, harmful bacteria. All these things are toxins to the body and cause damage in your proteins, cause damage in your cells. Autophagy cleans that up. You don't have to eat anything for it, nothing. It's just this automatic process that your body starts to engage in when you stop putting food in your mouth. And it's pretty incredible. In fact, there was a Nobel Prize awarded for physiology and medicine in 2016 to Yoshinori Osumi. And this is a quote, for his discoveries of the mechanisms for autophagy. So he did this whole research project on it, and he used basically yeast. He was studying yeast and how that works and what it produces when you starve it, etc. And he discovered this process, and then it evolved into being applied to the human body, and was found that fasting also in the human body allows you to get into this autophagy state and just clean yourself up. It's pretty amazing. So what it does is basically removes these dysfunctional cells, either recycles them or breaks them down into amino acids and rebuilds them into usable new proteins that you can build things with, or create cells and other structures. It also, as I mentioned, cleans out harmful bacteria and toxins on a cellular level. So as it's breaking down the cell in order to recycle it or eliminate it, it is also breaking down the toxins that may have been attached there or attendant with the process that led to the degeneration of the cell. So it's like hitting a reset on your body. Like, okay, good. I would like some new body parts. I'm going to stop eating for 12 hours. Bam. Just got, however many thousands of new cells just by doing that. So you're hitting reset, and you're going to get benefits. And your body prioritizes. It will heal the things that it needs healed the most first, and then it will go to other areas. Okay, so that was autophagy. That's one benefit. So we have hormonal balance, health, specifically. We have human growth hormone, we have insulin, which affects so many things. And then we have autophagy, the anti-aging process. And now we're on to the next. Any one of these things would be enough to make it absolutely vital that someone gets into fasting. But there's all these benefits. And stem cells, it's absolutely incredible. So as most of us know, stem cells are used in many modern therapies where a person needs major support in order to heal their body, like disease processes for things like cancer and cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative processes, etc. These stem cell therapy has been found to be effective in many, many cases. Do you know that in your own home, on your own time, and in your own lifestyle, you could engage in a sort of stem cell therapy just by learning how to fast in a ketogenic state? Yes. Okay, so what are stem cells? Stem cells are the body's master cells. They are the building blocks of all organs. Get that? All organs. It's not like, oh, some of them. No, every single organ you have in your body is built using stem cells, these master cells. So all organs, all tissues, all of your blood, and the entire immune system. In many tissues, they serve as an internal repair system, regenerating to replace lost or damaged cells for the life of the person. Get that? That's basically your repair for your entire life. That's what's going to fix you as you move forward. So as we age, stem cells do not perform as well as they do when we are younger. However, stem cell regeneration performance can be greatly improved with the use of fasting. Fasting can help you take advantage of stem cell regeneration to heal your body, making you younger, more energized, active, and healthy. Of course, who wouldn't want to be younger, more energized, active, and healthy? And even if you don't want to be younger experientially, I know that's true for me. I like where I'm at, but you do want to be younger or able to engage in certain things on a physical level, have more energy, have more ability to exercise and recover quickly, have that vitality that comes along with youth. So many studies have been done on fasting and stem cells, but there's one that's very significant because it was done with people. It was not done on mice or in a petri dish or whatever else. So it was a study conducted by researchers at MIT, and it revealed that stem cells drastically increased their rate of regeneration when a person was in a fasted state. Just fasted state. This is not like, okay, I have to fast 3 days and then I get a couple stem cells. No, this is, you go into a fasted state and very quickly, it's not immediate, but it is fairly quickly, you start getting this regeneration of stem cells. So this discovery was found in both aged and young subjects equally. Interesting. So it doesn't matter what your age is, you can still get this benefit just like you were in your 20s. I say that because I'm not in my 20s anymore. If you're in your 20s, then you will get amazing benefits from stem cells as well. Now, for decades, scientists have known that a low caloric intake was linked with enhanced longevity. This has been found in numerous studies. But what we were looking at this MIT study was how fasting affects the molecular level in a person's body. And it was found that stem cells began regenerating in the gut first. So it's a gut healing process. If you have IBS, you have Crohn's, you have sensitivity to foods, you feel lethargic, you have an overgrowth of bacteria in your gut, etc., etc. Do fasting. You will be able to heal your gut in a large degree, if not completely, using correct fasting techniques. Okay, last thing here, fasting for brain health. Of course, we all want to have better memory, be sharper, have clearer cognitive function, et cetera, right? So there are many things that lead, all of the things we just talked about improve brain health and it can contribute to memory and cognitive function. But there are some specific things that occur in the nervous system in the brain that you would be good to be aware of, just so you're shooting for them. So they don't happen right away in fasting. It takes a little bit of time. So the first one I like to mention is BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It's like Miracle-Gro for your brain. It is a protein that plays this key role in making new brain cells. It's kind of like a stimulating activity, and wherein you start to produce new brain cells at a greater rate, and you improve the connectivity between existing brain cells. So not only are you creating more, but you're also creating more connectivity, more ability for the brain cells that are there to function and operate in a sharp manner. So the switchboard system of our nervous system and brain can engage and give us the ability to use our mind on a physical level, right? So fasting has been found to produce a increase of 3.5 times in BDNF. So that's pretty significant. Okay, so taking action. Now, this is where I wanted to get to because it is super important that you take action. It's great to learn about these things, become inspired, be, oh my gosh, I can do all this stuff to improve my health, but then not do anything about it. And fasting is so easy. There's no reason for you not to engage in fasting today, tomorrow at the latest. Okay, here we go. So the first thing, go keto. Now, you don't have to do this, but your fasting will be more effective and easier to maintain if you can get yourself into a ketogenic state. This does not mean you have to be low carb for the rest of your life. It doesn't even mean you have to go keto in order to try fasting. Many people successfully fast and never go on a keto style diet. So it's entirely up to you. This is just something I've found to be very effective in helping a person fast. So I wanted to mention it here. So getting into ketosis is where you're burning fat for fuel. Your body takes in fat, burns it for fuel. Instead of using carbs for fuel, which are harder on the body, create a lot more toxins, it's able to use fat for fuel, which is the preferred source, the cleaner source, the healthier source of fuel for the body. All right, so ketosis, this fat burning state, allows you to move right into fasting very easily. And you just start a ketogenic lifestyle. So start eating less sugar, start eating less carbs. It's not like you have to do, if you're a person who wants to do things overnight, just cut your carbs and sugar completely. Go on a ratio of about 70% of your diet being fat, 20% being protein, and 5 or 10% being carbs. Try to get those carbs from veggies and nuts and seeds. Do that, you'll go right into ketosis. But if you want more of a gradual approach, which is what I would recommend, just start cutting things gradiently. Maybe just start with lowering your sugar intake. When you get that down, then maybe take the grains out of your diet. When you get that down, then maybe start really specifically looking at carbs and lowering them down to about 5 or 10% of your caloric intake each day. Okay, start fasting. Now, even if you don't do keto, start fasting. Start fasting tomorrow. And if you are doing keto, do this concurrent with starting the ketogenic lifestyle. Absolutely, they complement each other. And so what is fasting? So fasting is basically a plan where you have a specific period where you don't eat anything. You can have liquids. You should have liquids, but you don't eat any food. And you do that for an extended period of time. Usually when we think of fasting, we're thinking of 10 or more hours of a window where you don't eat anything. Now, that said, some people can't go more than 2 or 3 hours without eating. It just doesn't work for them. Their metabolism is such that they have to eat every 3 hours. Okay, great. Guess where if you can only last 3 hours before you need to eat, then your fasting starts at 3 hours and 1 minute, just to be exaggerate here. But if you can only go a certain period before you start to feel off, then you don't go much longer than that. You just push yourself very greatly. Maybe you get up to 4 hours, and that's a big fast for you. But that's what your body is needing right at this time. And then you push it up, and you push it up. And there are all sorts of hacks you can do to make your body more able to fast. And there's semi-fasts where you still eat or eat certain types of foods, and you still get into an autophagy state. So don't think just because your metabolism is such that you get shaky when you don't eat that you can't engage in fasting, because you totally can. And you should even more than someone who gets into a fasting state more easily. Okay, so that said, something that I constantly repeat to my clients: slow is faster when fasting. So it's really true. It's not just a catchy phrase. If you try to push fasting too fast, and you start to feel side effects of that, headaches, shakiness, dizziness, weakness, whatever, hangry, then you're not fasting. You're doing something else. It's called starving yourself, and that's not fasting, and it won't give you the benefits I just went over. Pushing through, muscling through, that's not fasting unless you're enjoying it. And if everything's going great and you feel like everything's wonderful, then that's fasting, right? But anytime you start to get these severely non-optimum conditions, you're not in a fasting state. You're starving yourself. There's something metabolically wrong that's causing you to feel that way, and you need to remedy that before you engage in a longer fast. So it's just good to know that and really keep that in mind. Where do you start? So you start with intermittent fasting. And again, I said, if you can only go 4 hours, then that's where you start. But ideally, we want to push you up to 10, 12, 13, or 14-hour windows of fasting where you're not having any food, just liquids, non-caloric liquids as well. So black coffee, water, electrolyte drinks that aren't, sugary, teas, things like that. Caffeine is fine during fasting periods if you tolerate caffeine. Now, another thing is that when you're beginning fasting, especially, you want to use something called bulletproof coffee or tea. And this is simply a drink made with MCT oil and grass-fed butter, usually. And you mix it together with your coffee and you drink it instead of your breakfast, or you have it at the beginning of your day. And it allows you to extend your fasting period more than you would be able to without that boost of fats. And the fats have, of course, no protein and no carbs in them. And they are a certain type of fat that allows your body to produce energy and engage in a deeper ketogenic fasting state, which is what we were looking for, right? Ketogenic fasting. So this drink makes your fasting more effective. So don't feel like you're cheating because you're having this. You're making it more effective. Now, yes, there are benefits from not having anything besides just liquids. But again, the way you should go into fasting is an enjoyable experience. If you're experiencing, your biofeedback is saying, hey, this isn't working because I'm getting a headache, have your bulletproof coffee or tea, and you'll probably avoid all of that, right? And you want to build up to having this type of window here, 8 hours of eating and 16 hours of fasting. And if during that 8-hour window you can have no snacks, that's ideal. Just 2 or 3 meals with no snacks. There are many other forms of fasting. We could, go on and on for hours about all the other forms of fasting. It comes down to you need to figure out what works for you in the combination of hacks, time frames, shifting things around that works for you. I've seen so many different theories and recommendations about how to fast and how to do many things in health for that matter. And inevitably, I'll work with clients, and the thing that was supposed to work for everybody because it was proven by, somebody with 16 letters after their name and went to 20 different schools, only works for half of my clients. It just doesn't work that way in the real world. You have to do what works for the person. There are so many factors. There's no way you could do a study that would include all the factors going on in every single person's life that might affect how fasting works for them. So do what works for you. That's the bottom line. And take it slow. Fast is slower when fasting. So there's alternate day fasting. It's where you fast one day, then don't fast the next. It's a great way to start, especially if you have trouble fasting. 5-2 fasting refers to during the week, you have 5 days of eating normally, 2 days of some sort of fasting schedule. It doesn't have to be 24-hour fasts or fasting the entire 2 days. It could be an intermittent fasting schedule on both of those 2 days. And then daily time restricted fasting. This is just another term for intermittent fasting, which we've been talking about. So 1 meal a day, OMAD. So this is the cool fast because it's been named OMAD. And this is a super effective fast when your body is up to it. It's very good for improving your body composition. However, it also engages many of the things that we went over in the beginning when you get up to this level of 1 meal a day. You wouldn't do 1 meal a day forever. Some people do like to do it for a while, but you definitely should not do it forever. It will actually be too much of a good thing, so to speak, eventually. So you need to shake things up. But 1 meal a day is a target for you to go for in the beginning. There are some additional benefits of fasting here. We covered some of these, but because fasting is anti-inflammatory and all the things that we've gone over so far contribute to the anti-inflammatory nature of fasting and being in a fasted state, it actually helps with many diseases that are related to inflammation: Alzheimer's disease, arthritis, asthma, multiple sclerosis, stroke, etc. The list goes on and on. Just think of anything that comes from inflammation. Fasting helps with that. So this is really important. I wanted to cover this so you really understood, okay, at this point in my fasting, my hours of not eating, my hours of fasting, I will be getting the following benefits. And realize once a benefit starts, it pretty much just keeps compounding and increasing throughout your fast. So in the beginning here, intermittent fasting, 13 to 15 hours of fasting, you start getting an increase in human growth hormone, which we've covered. And this means that you have a reduction in inflammation in your body and an increase in your body's ability to heal and repair itself. Additionally, fat burning begins more intensely. Even if you're on a ketogenic diet already, you will get into a deeper state of fat burning. If you're not on a ketogenic diet, then after around 13, 14 hours or so, you will start to burn ketones. You'll start to produce more ketones. And this improves your energy, improves your focus, improves a lot of different things. And then around 17 hours, autophagy begins. So this is where that cellular detoxification, the repair of your body at a cellular level, leading to improved immune function and even cancer prevention benefits, any disease process prevention, basically. Remember the idea of inflammation going down. Autophagy helps with lowering inflammation eventually as well. And then we move on to 18 to 36 hours. And this is where a lot of these other benefits I was talking about become more pronounced, or you really engage in them. So you want to get up to this stage where you're able to fast for 18 hours or longer. Because right around 24 hours, that's when that stem cell regeneration really kicks in. And it begins in the gut, remember. So you get that gut repair going on. You're going to have improved energy because you're able to use your food better, more effectively. You get more nutrients and energy out of what you eat. And it creates a whole cascade of health benefits. And then at the same time, when this stem cell regeneration is beginning, there's things going on in your nervous system and your brain. There's an increase in GABA, and there's an increase in the BNDF, which we talked about. And these both promote brain healing. BNDF, we talked about, produces new brain cells and increases the communication between existing brain cells, and the GABA is a calming effect. It allows you to go into a rest and repair state. It has a lot of other benefits for that matter. And then it's also at this point with these stem cell activation, if you have autoimmune issues, especially if in the beginning, if they're some sort of gut related issue, these are going to begin healing. So think, if you have IBS, you have Crohn's, if you have SIBO, all these different gut related problems that are epidemic now around our modern culture, they are all healed in part, or they begin healing as you engage in this longer fast. Pretty amazing, right? Okay, so then at 36 hours, your glucose stores are pretty much gone, and your insulin is much lower. So you're really burning a lot of fat. And this causes healing to occur in the body. And you get into more detoxification because autophagy has really been going for a while now, and you're in a deeper state of autophagy. And the stem cell benefits are increasing as well. And then we get up to 37 to 72 hours. I'm only going to go up to 72 hours for this talk. And of course, I would only do on your own intermittent fasting. If you want to get into these longer fasts, either train yourself up enough so that you feel like you're a professional for real, or work with someone for the first few times you do it. I would definitely recommend working with someone, even if you are a professional, because you always learn something, and you get that support you need that you sometimes need during a longer fast. So, but this is pretty amazing. Right around 48 hours, we get this thing called the dopamine reset. Now, really, it's a reset of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all your happy hormones, your mood boosting and supporting hormones. And this is so amazing because that can lead to all sorts of emotional benefits. And this is where your drive in life and your willingness to engage, and your not having anxiety in your life and not having depression hit you can be kind of made to occur because you reset these hormones. And the reset is basically that they haven't been overloaded by the constant stimuli that occurs when we eat the way we do in our modern culture so frequently. And they are allowed to become more sensitive to the operation on a cellular level that these hormones are supposed to create. And again, HGH increases at 48 hours, as does autophagy. But the thing about the increase of the HGH is this is the point where most people have it go up by 500%. So that's amazing. Right now, if you add some exercise in there, like we talked about, 1,000% or more. So you get a lot of anti-aging benefits while you get this reset on your emotional feeling for life and how your body is working on a hormonal level. Now, we just talk about dopamine reset, but think about all the other hormones that your body interacts with and how they haven't had any overstimulation. So it's basically a full body reset on the hormonal level, to be honest. But we've noticed, and research has been done specifically on the dopamine reset. So I bring that up here. And then 72 hours is kind of the immunity phase where you're really making your body resistant to future disease processes, as well as resolving chronic issues and getting into deep cellular healing. Now, look at this peak autophagy. So, this is when your autophagy is at the highest. And then you activate more of these stem cells systemically. So, this is throughout the body. We start in the gut and it keeps moving out. And at this stage, you're systemic. You're getting stem cell regeneration that affects your immune system, all your musculoskeletal stem cell systems. So everything from all your muscles right down to the bone marrow, you get regeneration from this level of fasting. And this results in the resolution of chronic conditions and accelerated healing. So at this level, your stem cells are systemic. The immune system stem cells are working, the musculoskeletal stem cells are engaged, and you are getting a overall body rehaul, so to speak. Upgrade would be a better word for it. So this upgrade occurs right around 72 hours, and that's all just from fasting correctly in a ketogenic state. Pretty amazing, right? Okay, again, I want to bring this up. Slow is faster when fasting. It's all about balance. Don't push yourself. If you're experiencing negative effects, you're doing it wrong. So stop, do more research on it, re-listen to this webinar, reach out to me. I'd love to help. There are times when you definitely should not fast. Of course, for women, when you're pregnant or breastfeeding, don't fast. There are exceptions when you're breastfeeding of doing a very short, like 13-hour intermittent fast to help reset things. But again, I would only do that when you're working with somebody. If you're under specific medical care, of course, work with your practitioner. Don't just go and try fasting on your own. Find out if what you're already doing with them even combines well with fasting. There are things that you should not be fasting during the middle of, for sure. And then, of course, metabolically compromised individuals. So by this, I generally mean the pre-diabetic, diabetic person, somebody who has hypoglycemia, or is not able to process things metabolically correctly. And there are many disease processes related to this too. So if you have any doubts on that or whatever, seek help from a healthcare practitioner, your doctor, etc., and make sure that you're ready to engage in fasting. There are advanced fasting techniques that I wanted to go over. I've gone over a lot here, but these are so important, I couldn't leave them out. So as we know, fasting taps into all these natural processes that improve the health in your body. And you can use supplementation to also help deepen or heighten the benefit of these processes that are engaged in fasting. So it basically works that fasting helps your body perform these life-changing processes: detox, repair of organs, tissues, fat loss, emotional support, and countless other amazing processes. So when you use fasting correctly in conjunction with the right supplements that don't take you out of a fasting state, amazing. But where do you start? This is where I say to start. Depending on the person's specific scenario and what they want to work on, there may be other things they should start on, but generally speaking, everybody would get benefits from using proteolytic enzymes, binders, and drainage. So proteolytic enzymes are enzymes that break down protein. So we talked about autophagy, and it breaks down protein, and it repairs cells and gets rid of damaged proteins, etc. Proteolytic enzymes are going to specifically target the autophagy process and improve its results while you're doing fasting. So you could do a short fast, like a 24-hour fast, use proteolytic enzymes, and potentially get the benefits you would from a 48-hour fast, autophagy-wise. And then also using binders and drainage. And this is part of the detox. So binders grab onto toxins in the body and help eliminate them, and drainage helps the process of those binders getting out of your body. So proteolytic enzymes, again, enzymes that break down protein and assist in autophagy. We use these 4 specific products. There are definitely a lot more, and you can get ones over the counter or at your local health food store that are more than effective. But these are ones that we know work. Unfortunately, they are, to my knowledge, only available through nutritionists or healthcare practitioners, etc. But you could easily call us and we could ship them to you if you're not local. So one is called More Than Cardio, very high concentration of proteolytic enzymes and other factors that help with the process of getting into deeper fasting states, including some herbs that are adaptogenic. Natto LP, same thing, proteolytic. All these are proteolytic. CT-Zyme. So CT stands for carbon technology, and Zyme is referring to the enzymes, which include proteolytic protein digesting enzymes. Now, CT-Zyme is from Cellcore, and Cellcore has created unique products, and they are systemic. So I love this one because even though the concentration isn't as high as some of these others, it ensures that process, those enzymes, go throughout your entire body. They're also of a pH that allows them to travel through your body. And because of the carbon technology, they get into spaces that other supplements, proteolytic enzyme supplements, do not. And then Catalyst 7 is just a super high quality product that has a good concentration of proteolytic enzymes that some people respond very well to. Binders, all these are Cellcore. Cellcore is probably our favorite company for binders. And it was created by practitioners, doctors who worked with thousands of clients and found out what works. A lot of these have that carbon technology that I was talking about, so that they go systemic as well as binders. Many binders, like activated charcoal, it doesn't necessarily go as systemic as these binders. It's mostly concentrated on the gut, which is great. Your gut usually needs cleanup. But biotoxin binder, Virad Chem, HMET binder, heavy metals, environmental toxins binder, and carboxy all go into a deeper type of detox. And then drainage, again, this is just helping your body pass things, get rid of things through your pores and your skin, through your breathing. However it is the body's detoxing, these things can help. So drainage tone, advanced TUDCA, bowel mover, garlic forte, Antronex. So again, advanced TUDCA and bowel mover, these are from Cellcore. Garlic forte, Antronex, these are from Standard Process. All amazing products. Advanced TUDCA and Antronex support organs that help with detox, specifically the liver. Drainage tone is a liquid that supports the overall detox process in the body. All of them are definitely very effective. Okay, great. So probably should have led up to this a little more, but let's just get right into it. So I have been working with people on fasting very intensively for about a year and a half now with clients, and myself for many more years than that, and with my friends and family for many more years than that. And I've really just fallen in love with it. And I think that everybody should learn how to use fasting and create a fasting lifestyle that produces the health benefits I've seen others experience and experience myself. So I want to share this with you. So I'm announcing a flexible fasting 14-day fasting program. And I've created this program, one, to teach you how to fast correctly and to help you tailor it to your body going forward. So 14 days of fasting experience, which changes your life. That's the target, but also an education that you can take forward. And I'll explain how the program works, and you'll see how that could be. But during the 14 days, it's a group program. So I'll be doing group coaching, teaching you the basics and advanced techniques to create anti-aging and health promoting benefits, and also body composition benefits. So here are some of the benefits. Increased lean muscle mass. Yes, you can increase your lean muscle mass with fasting. Decreased body fat, of course. Improved hormonal function, as we've gone over, and specifically the anti-aging hormone. activate autophagy for anti-aging, detox, and repair processes, increase stem cell regeneration in your body, improve cognitive function and memory. Yes, I always love that. Yes, if you stop eating, your memory will improve. So you can just start fasting, and you will engage yourself in becoming younger. So you want to become younger physically and have more vitality? Start fasting. It's that simple. So how I deliver the program. So basically, it's going to be very simple. It'll be 14 days where I take you through a fasting journey via a Facebook group. The day before the 14 days start, I will do a group coaching call, and we'll go over the specifics of how the program is going to work. I will do some meet and greet, and we will also engage in tailoring it to the members of the group. So it's like not everybody's going to have to do the same cookie cutter program. If you're there to put on weight, then we'll work on a certain type of fasting that helps you with that. If you're there to lose weight, we'll work on something for that. If you're there just for the autophagy anti-aging benefits, we'll give you tools to do that. And it's not hard. It's subtle, the changes, but they're alike. They're all engaged in fasting. So it'll just be, it'll be very flexibly workable. Plus, I'm not going to accept more than a certain number of people. So I have attention and an ability to engage with everybody. Okay, good. So after the first day group coaching, then you'll start the next day with your fasting regimen, and it'll be very gradiently done. The first day and every day following, you get a video in the morning on Facebook of what that day is all about and some helpful information about fasting. Additionally, you get an email that day with a lesson on fasting. This is the kind of the education course piece, and you'll have a download for a daily fasting journal where you record what you're doing, gives you a little instruction at the top. So again, from the video what to do, from your fasting journal what to do, and there'll be a post in Facebook, like just a written post, which will tell you what you're doing and give you some useful information. And you can comment and ask questions below it, and then we'll get back to you. In addition to that, I'll also give you some guides, so the fasting benefits, daily facts, and some hacks. So before this even starts, you'll have a bunch of hacks on how to do things, and you'll also fill out a form that tells me what you're here for and what you want to accomplish, and that'll be part of how I tailor the program to you. And then for those who are starting with me now, and this is super, super significant, you will, of course, have lifetime access to the Facebook group. But just for those who are starting with me in the beginning programs here, I'm going to also give you lifetime access to all future programs. So you won't have to purchase them as they come out. And I'm going to be doing a fasting program every single month. It won't always be a 14-day fast like this, because there's tons of different fasts you can do of different lengths. But there will be other 14-day fasts of this nature as well. And you will have access to them forever, for as long as I do this, which will probably be as long as I'm in this career, which will probably be 20 plus years. So it should be plenty of time for you to get the benefits of fasting and learn about it. So you'll have this lifetime access to all these things. And in the future, that will not be an option. It'll be, okay, you paid for that program, now you can pay for this other program. Or maybe we'll have packages where people can pay for several, but it won't be this amazing. And this will also be the lowest cost it'll ever be, of course. I'm just trying to get things started, allow people to engage. And there will be 2 other live coaching sessions in the middle and then at the end of the 14 days. Okay, I hope that all made sense, and I hope you're as excited as I am and with all this new, probably amazing information to you. Definitely feel free to sign up today. I would love to be able to cap it off in the next couple of weeks, saying, okay, I've got my 20 people, that's what I'm doing. You can go to this website for those of you who might just be listening. On the screen here, it is https://longevity-fitness-health.square.site/. I'm just going to give that to you again. https:// and then spelled out LONGEVITNESS-HEALTH.square.site/. So if you go to that site, you can sign up for the program, and then I will send you follow-up emails as we get closer to the start date, which again will be August 1st, 2022. And it's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to working with people. I hope you got a lot out of this webinar and that you really enjoyed it. I'm enjoying giving this information to people and helping people engage in this. So if you do have any questions you'd like to just follow up with me on, or with the clinic that I'm partnering with on, feel free to check us out. You can go to 607-277-1964 to call us or text to ask about the fasting group, or if you're more interested in a personalized coaching program. Of course, you can do that with me as well. You can also email the clinic here, info@Nutritional Wellness Center. If you'd like to email me directly, my coaching email is info@longevityfitnessandhealth.com. And the website for the clinic is www.nutritionalwellnesscenter.com. My website is longevityfitnessandhealth.com. So however you're most comfortable reaching out, if you'd like to talk to someone and text with someone, feel free to reach out to that number, 607-277-1964. If you want to reach out to me via email, info@longevityfitnessandhealth.com. I'm also on social media, specifically Instagram. My handle is @LongevityFitnessAndHealth. I post stuff there about fasting and other health related topics. I have a podcast, the Body Mind Biohacker, which you can access via my Instagram as well if you click the link in my bio. So however you'd like to engage, I am here. I'm ready to help you. And thank you for being here today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.